This is Valley View News.
The search for murder suspect Christopher Dorner became the biggest manhunt ever in Southern California. Governor Jerry Brown says he wants to scale back California's Enterprise Zone program. Music's biggest stars are basking in the afterglow of this year's Grammys.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Wendy Aguilar.
And I'm Julia Cook.
What's being called the biggest manhunt in Southern California history continues for murder suspect Christopher Dorner. The ex-police officer is believed to have killed 3 people, 2 of them an engaged couple, the third a Riverside police officer. The Los Angeles Police Department stormed a Lowe's home improvement store in Northridge after reports of a Dorner sighting in the store and the parking lot. Nothing was found. The tip came just hours after Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa offered a $1 million reward for the 33-year-old suspect's arrest. That's a record reward for LAPD. Meanwhile, authorities scaled back the search in Big Bear, where Dorner's burned-out Nissan truck was found. Riverside police have identified the officer who was killed in an early morning ambush as 34-year-old Michael Crane, a husband and a father of 2. A 27-year-old trainee who was shot with Crane has not been identified and was hospitalized with serious injuries.
The LAPD says they are looking into a 2009 investigation that stripped Dorner of his badge.
Chief Beck has directed that the Los Angeles Police Department reopen the investigation into the allegations that Officer Dorner made while he was on the department, those allegations that resulted in him being terminated.
Dorner was fired after Internal Affairs found him guilty of making false statements about his training officer, Teresa Evans. Dorner claimed Evans had kicked a mentally ill man during an arrest in 2007. The LAPD says they found Dorner's allegations to be false.
CSUN's Director of University Counseling Services, Mark Stevens, says Dorner's alleged behavior should not impact people's trust in law enforcement.
You know, I don't think it's going to impact how people in the long-term view our police officers, or maybe I'm not sure that it will even in the short term. I think most people see that you know, police officers are human beings, and there's going to be some people that are in that department that may not act accordingly to civic standards, but I think you'll find that in any profession.
Students at Cal State Northridge have mixed feelings about their own safety while the manhunt for Dorner continues.
It's kind of scary when somebody doesn't have like a specific person. It's like anybody who like wears, you know, the blue uniform.
He shot at just 2 random police officers that were passing him by, and I mean, what does it say for anybody else?
I don't think he's really targeting anybody on the campus or anything like that. It's more of a personal vendetta that he has.
Big Bear Valley Unified School District reopened Monday. Students and teachers stayed home last week while more than 200 officers searched the area for the murder suspect, Christopher Dorner. The search was hampered by a snowstorm that blew into the area over the weekend.
The Vatican will choose a new pope next month after Pope Benedict XIV suddenly announced he's resigning.
In order to govern the bark of St. Peter and proclaim the gospel, both strength of mind and body are necessary, strength which in the last few months has deteriorated in me to the extent that I have had to recognize my incapacity to adequately fulfill the ministry entrusted to me.
The College of the Cardinals will hold a conclave in March to elect a new leader. Contenders to replace Pope Benedict include Cardinal Scola of Milan, Cardinal Schoenborn of Vienna, and Cardinal Ouellet from Canada. Benedict became Pope in 2005 following the death of Pope John Paul. At age 78, Benedict was the oldest pope to take on the role. The last pope to resign was Pope Gregory XII about 600 years ago. The Pope's resignation has come as a surprise. CSUN's Chair of Religious Studies, Rick Talbot, says the Catholic Church has a number of issues to face.
You have the question of priests being able to marry, another issue of women being able to become priests, as well as some other issues, gay marriage, I think, included.
The San Diego County District Attorney's Office will make a decision on whether a 12-year-old boy will be charged for making death threats. Officials say the boy was taken into custody and sent to a hospital for treatment and evaluation. Detectives say they traced an email that was sent to an administrator at the school. It reportedly threatened people in the school, including students. Investigators say they found 5 rifles, 3 handguns, and 3 shotguns that were locked away in the boy's home. Officials say the boy did not have access to the weapons. Authorities say there is no evidence that anyone else was involved in the threats.
Governor Jerry Brown is critical about the state's Enterprise Zone program. The governor says the program does not save jobs and it costs the states hundreds of millions of dollars. Here's Malcolm Hoyle with the story.
This street, like many others in Los Angeles, is part of a state enterprise zone. Businesses in these zones are able to receive a tax credit because they are located in what the state sees as a blighted area. For each hire that is made in these areas, businesses can get up to $37,000 in tax credits. However, if Governor Jerry Brown gets his way, these zones and benefits may be in trouble. During his State of the State address last month, Governor Brown said the enterprise program is not working. He says the $700 million program does not create jobs and wastes hundreds of millions of tax dollars. While many areas within these enterprise zones can still be seen as depressed, some are far from it. An example of this can be found in the city of Santa Clarita. This suburban community just north of Los Angeles has had an enterprise zone since the program's inception in 1984. Here in the city of Santa Clarita, this intersection of McBean Parkway and Valencia Boulevard are right in the middle of the city's enterprise zone. This area is surrounded by shops, restaurants, a mall, and even the city's convention center. From what I can see, there are no signs of blight in this area. In fact, that convention center is located inside of a Hyatt Regency hotel. Santa Clarita resident Franco Gonzalez says he does not think this area is blighted.
Blighted? No, I wouldn't say that at all. There's a lot of space, there's a lot of paseos, there's a lot of things to do, there's restaurants, shops, parks, walkways like this. We actually just walked from home and came up here to Whole Foods Market, so I don't think it's blighted at all, no.
While the business community of Santa Clarita boasts the benefits of their enterprise zone, others, like Governor Brown, believe this program's time is up. In Santa Clarita, I'm Malcolm Hoyle for Valley View News.
An 11-year-old boy has died after he was exposed to carbon monoxide. The boy and his father were shoveling their car out of the snow. The young boy went into the car to stay warm. The car's exhaust pipes were covered with snow, which caused the car to be filled with fumes. The boy's father was also affected by the fumes, and both were rushed to the hospital. The boy was declared dead after arriving.
A gunman killed 2 women in a courthouse in Wilmington, Delaware, and then killed himself. The shooter entered the lobby of the Newcastle courthouse Monday and opened fire. The courthouse was evacuated and police did a floor-to-floor search to make sure there was only the single gunman. State police say the gunman acted alone and the shooting was not an act of terrorism.
Coming up, we'll tell you all about the big winners at the Grammys. Stay tuned.
So, are you going out tonight?
I can't. My parents say I have to be home right after work.
That's so gay.
Totally gay.
Ugh, that is so Emma and Julia. Why are you saying that's so Emma and Julia?
Well, you know, when something is dumb or stupid, you say that's so Emma and Julia.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
If you don't talk to your kids, I will.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
You locate your nearest shelter, you go down there, and you pick out the perfect match for you. Me.
Gasoline prices are increasing once again. The average prices have climbed almost 25 cents a gallon. That's the biggest jump in gas prices in almost a year. The national average for a gallon of regular hit $3.59. AAA says it's unlikely prices at the pump will fall until spring. Gas prices tend to increase in late February as some refineries shut down for maintenance.
There's a new clothing and fashion store opening in Santa Clarita, but it operates in a different way than many other businesses.
Brand name shoes, designer clothes, handmade jewelry.
There's Liz Claiborne here, there's Jones of New York.
But this isn't a department store. This is the Closet on Main Street, the newest addition to Single Mothers Outreach. Volunteer Terry Schwartz says these items come with a smaller price tag and a bigger value.
And the money will all go back to Single Mothers Outreach.
The funding and the items that will fill up this store come from private donations.
We don't have any governmental funds, so it's either private donations, it's through our fundraisers, or it's through grants.
Since 1995, Single Mothers Outreach Program has helped over 2,000 families get back on their feet.
That's a big thing with this program, is empowering yourself to be better.
Also, if you're struggling to meet with your rent, they will help you. They help you with your utilities, food, clothing.
Our mission is to provide single-parent households with hope, support, and resources to become self-sustaining.
I do work for one of the local high schools.
Mika Cooper was able to find a permanent job using the skills and resources she acquired through the program.
I have been making bracelets.
Julissa Garcia discovered a passion for jewelry making while taking an arts and crafts class.
And I've been selling them. And it's been helping me out a lot.
The proud mother of a now 17-year-old says she has overcome many challenges in her life, but most importantly, she has been able to provide a decent living for her son.
I never let him know the struggles that I had to go through to get milk, that I had to go through to bring food to the table every day.
The Closet on Main Street will open on February 19th. The store will operate from Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The Los Angeles mayor's race is reaching new barriers for one candidate in particular. Wendy Gruhl has extensive budget plans to expand the police and fire departments and abolish the city business tax. Some experts say she has not accounted for the city's current deficit. The CSUN campus hosts what it calls Soulful Saturdays, a couple of times each semester.
The event gives talented students a chance to perform classic R&B songs from artists like Stevie Wonder, Jasmine Sullivan, and Frank Ocean.
Valley View's Ashley Luke was there as the lights were dimmed for the evening.
CSUN alum John A. Thompson entertained music lovers for a night of smiles and laughter for the first Valentine-themed Soulful Saturdays event. The event, organized by USU, put people in the mood to relax and enjoy popular songs of R&B artists. John A. Thompson hosted the first Valentine-themed event of the semester organized by the USU. The crowd sat back to enjoy stand-up jokes from Thompson before musical performers of the evening, Noel Chestnut and Tri-Jean Wilkins, entertained the crowd with popular renditions of R&B songs. Some students couldn't help but sing along to songs by artists like Jasmine Sullivan. Political science major and aspiring musician Josh Thompson says what a typical Saturday looks like if he didn't go to the event.
Pretty much I would either be probably out in Hollywood, especially since it's Grammy weekend. So.
And food was another delight for the night. Now taking a break from listening to soulful jams throughout the night, attendees get an opportunity not only to listen to music, but also to enjoy some good food. A long line stretching to the entrance formed as music lovers had quite an appetite for free pasta, salad, and breadsticks from Stonefire Grill.
I thought tonight was great. This was the first one of the year.
Wrapping up the night, Thompson said what she thought of the event.
I feel like they started off amazingly with two CSUN talents, Noel Chestnut and TJ Wilkins. I think they did an incredible job.
People can look forward to the next Soulful Saturdays event in May with Thompson as the host once again. Soulful Saturdays are listed on the USU webpage or in the USU building. Back to you.
Here's the scoop.
Now over to Vanessa Alvarez for your Grammy recap.
The Grammys aired last week and we have all the details. Some of the top winners of the night were Gautier for Record of the Year and Mumford & Sons for Album of the Year. The group Fun won Best New Artist and Song of the Year for their indie pop hit, We Are Young, released in 2011. The biggest winner of the night, however, was the Black Keys, taking home 4 trophies. Jay-Z, Kanye West, Skrillex, and Australian musician Gautier trailed close behind, each taking home 3 Grammys. Last week's Grammy Awards also received buzz for the musical performances and star-studded red carpet. Rihanna and Chris Brown arrived separately, however, sat together inside. Justin Timberlake performed his new single, Suit and Tie, with Jay-Z, and Carrie Underwood took home 2 Grammys. She also performed in a special dress that acted as a digital projector. It was interesting. There were also a few wardrobe guidelines that weren't exactly followed by everyone. This year's Grammys pulled in more than 28 million viewers. Grammy Award winner Toni Braxton says she's giving up recording so she can spend more time on her acting career. Braxton is most known for her 90s ballads like Unbreak My Heart and Breathe Again. The singer and star of reality television show Braxton Family Values is set to star in Lifetime's made-for-TV movie Twist of Faith. Braxton has had 2 stints in Broadway, starring in Beauty and the Beast and Aida. She was also a contestant on the 7th season of Dancing with the Stars. In an interview, Braxton said she would like the challenge of playing a lesbian in the future role. She notes that focusing on acting is meant to distance herself from reality television labels she now has. Having sold more than 60 million records, the singer has not rolled out touring or performing, but says that fans should not expect another album. In continuation of the award season, the Academy Awards will air next Sunday. A-list stars have been seen all over the globe making appearances for their nominated movies. The British Academy Film Awards were held in London, and the red carpet, or should I say wet carpet, was filled with stars. Ben Affleck took home Best Film and Best Director for his role on Argo, and Christoph Waltz won Best Supporting Actor for his role in Django. At the Oscars, these films will all be in the running for one of the biggest awards of the night, Best Picture. Quentin Tarantino's film Django Unchained is nominated along with Ben Affleck's film Argo. Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence are both nominated for Silver Linings Playbook, and Daniel Day-Lewis's film Lincoln has 12 nominations. The awards will air at 4 p.m. on ABC. That's all for your entertainment news. Back to you, Julia.
Coming up, the Lakers face another disappointing loss. Lawsuits are costing California millions of dollars, and a new drink may be replacing the morning cup of joe.
We don't win unless we work together.
It's how we play our best.
It's how we survive on the field.
Now that same teamwork can save 13 million people
affected by the famine, war, and drought in the Horn of Africa.
Go to this site
and forward the facts to everyone you know. The more people who know, the more money we can raise.
And the more money we raise,
the more people we can help.
Because saving lives doesn't take a lot.
It just takes a lot of us.
It's Timothy Green's first day at school.
What's in there? He's about to fall over.
Anything he might need. There's a box of tissues on the bottom and some Band-Aids. There's a whole first aid kit, actually.
Mom, I can handle it from here.
You don't have to be perfect.
Have a great day.
That's too much pressure.
Have the day you have.
To be a perfect parent.
There are 2 people in the world who want you more than anything. They'll make some mistakes, but they will love you more than you can ever imagine.
There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Governor Jerry Brown is challenging what he calls a costly conflict of interest in the state's prisons. He says inmate lawsuits are costing California more than $200 million, including the state's legal cost. The Associated Press conducted a tally of 3 different state agencies. It found California taxpayers have paid $182 million over the last 15 years, paying for inmates' attorneys.
A rocket carrying an Earth-observing satellite launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. It's going to document changes to the Earth's natural resources. The $855 million mission continues 40 years of monitoring Earth's glaciers, droughts, forests, and the effects of urban sprawl. It is a joint mission of NASA and the U.S. Geological Survey. The satellite will orbit 440 miles above Earth and circle the planet 14 times a day. Hundreds of pictures will be beamed back to ground stations in South Dakota, Alaska, and Norway.
The worst of this year's flu season should be over in most of the U.S. in 2 to 3 weeks. The West Coast may struggle a little longer because the flu arrived a little late. Flu season slammed into the East in late December. That was almost a month earlier than usual. Since then, flu cases have been going down. There is a countrywide campaign of flu vaccination to try to minimize its harmful effects.
Researchers say a drug to treat canker sores may one day help people lose weight. Doctors at the University of Michigan are giving mice a high-fat diet in order to make them obese. The animals are then injected with a canker sore treatment that has been around for more than 15 years. Scientists say the mice are losing weight while eating the same high-fat diet. Researchers say they want to make sure the canker sore drug is the reason for the weight loss. If the drug turns out to be safe for humans, patients taking it may need to stay on it permanently for weight to remain off.
PepsiCo is trying to get people away from morning coffee or a cup of tea and into a new drink. It's called Mountain Dew Kickstart, and it comes in fruit punch and orange citrus flavors. It has caffeine, as you might expect. Good luck trying to get people away from their traditional cup of joe.
Daycare for dogs? Yes, there is such a thing. Some dog owners say it can be beneficial for the bow wows. Jacqueline Galvan has the story.
Having your pet kept in a cage at a kennel certainly keeps the pet safe and well fed, but people who use dog daycare say it allows Bowser to actually enjoy being away from home. Barking is all you will hear at this place known as Wagville. It is a place for dogs to get boarding or get groomed, treadmill exercise for dogs with arthritis, dog training, or simply just to buy food. Vets usually do most of these things, but how is Wagville different from boarding at your local vet? The owner of Wagville, Julie Shine, says Wagville is a safe place to board your dog.
First of all, we're cage-free, so it's just like a big dog park out there. There are large dogs on one side and smaller and more timid dogs on the other. They play during the day, they nap during the day and sleep there at night. We don't ever really put them in a crate or a cage. We don't have any.
The dogs are always under 24-hour watch by staff members or by video cameras. Julie hopes to expand her franchise very soon. Wagville has been around for 7.5 years. That's about half a century in dog years.
Malcolm Hoyle is here with the frustrating news on the Lakers and some hope for the Dodgers and Angels.
It continues to be one of those seasons for the Lakers. They tried. They gave a great effort, but it just wasn't enough to beat LeBron and company. James scored 32 points and Dwayne Wade added 30 for the Heat, who fast break their way past the Lakers to a 107-97 victory in Miami. Kobe Bryant led the Lakers with 28 points and 9 assists. The Lakers will try to dig themselves out of their lull. They take on Boston after the All-Star break. As for the Clippers, Chris Paul returned to form with their win over New York. In his second game after missing 9 straight with a knee injury, Paul scored 25 points, while Jamal Crawford poured in 27. Carmelo Anthony contributed 42 points in a losing effort for the Knicks. With everyone on the roster healthy, the Clippers are a good bet to continue winning after the All-Star break. It is mid-February, and that can only mean one thing: baseball is back. That's right, pitchers and catchers are beginning to report to Arizona and Florida for spring training. The Angels and Dodgers begin their camps this week with storylines for both teams. With their new deep pockets, the Dodgers took on $250 million of salary last season. Then they missed the playoffs. The response to this disappointment? spend more money. They went out and signed the top pitcher on the market, giving Zach Greinke the largest ever contract for a right-handed pitcher. The Angels missed the playoffs as well and responded by grabbing former MVP Josh Hamilton. Whether these moves pay off in October, well, they better make the playoffs. However, the two teams are sure to be interesting. The Seattle Mariners and pitcher Felix Hernandez have not yet finalized their record-setting contract extension. The reason? Team officials are worried about the condition of the former Cy Young winner's pitching elbow. However, both sides expect to finish the deal in the next few days. The two sides agreed last week to a 7-year, $175 million extension that would be the richest contract for a starting pitcher. CC Sabathia currently holds that distinction, signing for $166 million with the Yankees in 2011. The Indiana Hoosiers are still the #1 team in the nation despite their loss to Illinois. That's because 4 of the top 5 teams were upset. Florida, Michigan, and Kansas also lost in a dramatic week in college hoops. In all, 14 ranked teams lost. With Indiana remaining the top team, they ended a stretch of 5 consecutive weeks with a new #1. Duke, Miami, Michigan, and Gonzaga rounded out the top 5. The CIF Southern Section playoffs are just around the corner. There are 32 teams in the division. The division got an influx of many top teams this season after they won section titles last season. Some of the projected matchups include Pasadena versus Loyola, Mater Dei versus Downey Warren, and Foothill versus Etiwanda. The Southern Section has 12 divisions. The first game is a Pasadena home game against Downey. Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Michael Vick has signed a new contract with the team. The deal is for 1 year and can be worth up to $10 million. The new contract replaces the $100 million pact the two sides agreed to in 2011. Vick was scheduled to make over $15 million this year after playing in only 10 games last season. Elsewhere, Rob Ryan has been hired as the new defensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints. Ryan, who served as the defensive coordinator in Dallas the past 2 seasons, was fired early last month. The new Saints coordinator replaces Steve Spagnuolo, who was let go after 1 season. And finally, New Orleans power officials are now saying an electrical device was the cause of the half-hour blackout that plagued the Super Bowl. Entergy New Orleans, the company that supplies power to the Mercedes Superdome, installed the device to prevent power failure at the dome. However, Entergy officials are not sure why the device failed. The Golden State Warriors will be the first team to wear jerseys with sleeves during a nationally televised game against San Antonio later this month. The Warriors unveiled the T-shirt-looking jerseys this week, which were designed by Adidas. The team plans to wear the jerseys next month against the Bulls and Rockets as well. The jerseys resemble the leader jerseys given during the Tour de France with the team's name written across the chest. Adidas is in discussions with up to 10 other teams to sport the sleeve jerseys. No team has ever worn a sleeve jersey in an NBA game. The Kings had a tough loss against the Detroit Red Wings, 3-2. Jonathan Erickson scored the tiebreak in the final 5 seconds. The Kings' Dustin Brown called the game the best 60 minutes the team has played so far in this shortened season. Coach Darryl Sutter intends to keep adjusting the lineups until the team finds the chemistry it had when it won last year's Stanley Cup. And that's all for sports. Back to you, Wendy.
That's all for this edition of Valley View News. See you next week.